Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Leveraging Log Analytics, Going Beyond Troubleshooting to Optimize Business Processes. I'm Mike Baldani. I'll be your moderator today, and I'm joined by Raj from Automation Anywhere and Barry, our sales engineer from Sumo Logic.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for a great introduction. I'm Raj Desikavanayampillai. I'm part of Automation Anywhere. I lead the US cloud operations. Uh, Prior to that, I've been with large-scale companies managing different infrastructure from ELK, Splunk, and different observability stack. And now, currently, I'm managing the Sumo stack. And I've been an advocate for Sumo and help business grow Sumo usage across the organization. Over to
Excellent.
Barry.
Excellent. Barry.
I'm Barry Bisson. I'm an architect solutions engineer with Sumo Logic. I started at Sumo back in 2013, focusing mainly on observability.
Excellent. All right, so just to quickly summarize today's topic around beyond troubleshooting, using log analytics to improve the business. We know that logs and log analytics really are the foundation that a lot of folks use, particularly SREs and infrastructure managers, to monitor the performance of the technology stack, right? Making sure that it's running at capacity, running at optimal level to support the applications that are running on that stack. But we also know that logs and log analytics is based on data being pulled from different tools across the entire organization. So there are multiple use cases that can be solved for log analytics beyond just troubleshooting and issue resolution and even security monitoring. So today, we're going to talk about the different types of log data that can be used for business analytics, how meaningful log analytics can span multiple use cases across multiple teams in an organization, and then we'll see some real world examples of how Sumo Logic is providing visibility that helps these folks make data driven decisions that optimizes the business operations processes. And before I get into it, I always like to, reiterate what we're all doing right around the business mandates today, which is really ensuring that our customers have reliable and secure digital applications. By ensuring that application is reliable, it's secure and protected against modern threats, but also providing that visibility into the cloud infrastructure to make sure that everything that's running on it, that cloud infrastructure is supported appropriately. So let's get into it. Raj, we talked a little bit before this webinar, and we know a lot of customers have to manage alert fatigue or the too much noise. And you mentioned the same thing to me. So I'm just curious, how are you using log analytics to filter through the noise to get to the right signals and get to the things that really matter for you and your team?
Awesome. Thank you. That's a great question. So typically in those olden days, we used to say hay in a haystack. Not anymore. It's a needle in a needle stack. So it's quite a challenge in managing these environments. The data is coming in at the volumes like petabytes of data over a period of yeah, the retention period, like 30-day example. So how do we make better decisions using that? So that's where I think a lot of anomaly operators and all those things we start using intelligent dashboards in our platform to provide insights to our platform. Example is like, hey, uh, metrics. Like there are certain things we want to use the metrics to use the data. Like we use the standard four pillars of observability using the MEL. Uh, are we using 100%? Not yet. We are, but that's the direction we want to go towards it. Like, how do we do distributed tracing and other things? Like these are all our north star. So we are finding a lot of issues ahead of time. Like when the product is instrumenting focus on the new features, like most of the times we cannot have product analytics. So that's where log analytics comes in handy to help us to cut through the noise. Hey, how do we use this product? Like it's a very simple, like a simple use UI, which helps us to cut the noise.
Excellent. And Barry, you talk to a lot of different Sumo Logic customers and even new customers, right? What do you what are you hearing from them around kind of filtering through the noise and battling that alert fatigue as well?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem, as Raj said, is that there is too much. There's too much telemetry data coming through. So trying to pinpoint the things that really matter, that are relevant. The biggest thing that Sumo customers tell me is using the metadata that's available that puts them into the right context. So when something bad happens, you want to know what was the app that it happened, what was the host, what's the data center potentially, the cloud provider. All of this context helps you really hone in on the issue.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you both. Okay, next, getting good, accurate data and good analytics is great, especially when you can visualize it, right? When you've got some good visualizations and dashboards. So, Raj, at a very high level, what kind of visualizations and dashboards have you built from the analytics platform, Sumo Logic?
So, like for example, I would say it's not one size fits all. Like a different teams uses different dashboards. Like some teams uses alerts, some team uses dashboards. Like for example, hey, when we get an on-call alert, what do we do first? We have a main side like a side down dashboard to do that dashboard to quickly enable the on-call engineer to guide through what need to be done, like to make quick decisions, because we want to matter in minutes. How do we solve the problem? Then we have business metrics, we have operational metrics, so different kinds of visualization. There is no one particular bucket. It's we try to maximize the platform. I think this is more like a platform play than a visualization play.
Yeah, awesome. Barry, any thoughts here or input here too as well, based on again your wealth of information that you're collecting from different customers?
So again, just to underscore what Raj said, it really is all about the workflow, uh, enabling that person who gets that alert. Maybe it's the middle of the night. They need to get oriented, right? And if they have to look at 5 different tools to figure out what goes on and try to, copy something from one tool to another, that just wastes their time
Yeah.
and creates frustration. So I think, like Raj said, giving them what they need to get started on that job is the most important thing.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to pause here for a second because we ran a survey a couple months ago around logs and log analytics, and we had almost 150 responses or 140 responses, sorry. And, again, the results are what I expect, right? A lot of folks are using logs and log analytics for monitoring system performance, security threats, et cetera, and compliance. But when you look at the other two numbers, the 34% at the bottom, right? They're using logs and analytics for other things beyond troubleshooting, beyond monitoring system performance and threat analysis, but really business intelligence, right? And customer experience optimization. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and so Raj, we talked a little bit about what you're doing with Sumo with the log analytics and some of the visualizations, and I know you mentioned some business metrics. So how are you leveraging Sumo's log analytics for other use cases beyond the troubleshooting and the performance monitoring piece?
So, for example, like a lot of data we store in our uh, log analytics platform, where we can take that insight to derive, hey, how we are doing operationally better, the health of the system, health of the applications, then the health of the business metrics. So we can put all tied together, and then putting security as a pillar, like think it as a dimension. We can do dashboards, we can do alerts, like we can do a lot more things just with one play, like a one platform play. That's what we are trying to do. So sometimes the metrics helps us to, like for example, how do we know how many uh, events, like how many auto scale events happen up and down, like how many pod restart up and down, what's the memory usage. Like instead of going to the physical system, rather you use the platform play to build dashboards and visualize it, and then use that for troubleshooting and scaling the infrastructure, you name it. Like we do all the things, and then also set up alerts for threat detection. Then we also do business dashboards as well for the monthly metrics.
Excellent. Excellent. So let's dive into that a little bit more, right? Again, when we were talking a few days ago or last week, you mentioned something about wanting to make sure that other teams beyond your engineering group have access to some of these analytics. So, you know, do other teams leverage your engineering group to get those insights? So are they asking your engineering group to pull these insights, or are you giving this team access to the actual platform so that they're getting into the analytics for their own use cases? How are you managing that?
So that's a great point. So initially we started small, and then as we see uh, value in the platform, we started leveraging this platform play. And there are certain cases where we need like segregation of data, like a prod versus non-prod. We have done that, but operational play I manage heavily, and there are other plays also in the factor. So teams like security, support, uh, like PMs, cloud ops engineers, then the different business units, right? Like they can even look at, hey, if how is my tenant doing, right? Like what are the things, like if they need to look at it, we have dashboards for it. Like like it's we look at two things basically: what we need to do troubleshoot now tactically,
Yep.
and then what we need to look at strategically, like hey, how is our logs coming in from the system, how is the metrics coming in, are they in the right direction, are we in the right trends? So it's like used as a trend monitoring, and here it's more of operational monitoring for the preventive. That's at a very high level.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. So Barry, do you see that too? So when you go into a customer, does it start with a very specific use case, or maybe two or three use cases, and then it just kind of broadens out once they start using a platform and other teams see what's available in the analytics that they can pull out of that? Do you see that happening as well across other customers?
Yeah, and Michael, it really depends on sort of the mandate. Like Raj was talking about earlier, how he kind of became a Sumo advocate and
Yeah,
began sort of encouraging, other teams to do this. Sometimes the customer has a really specific need, a certain KPI that they really want to track, like a service level objective. We can talk about that as well. In some cases, it really comes from the executive. We had one customer that was doing in-flight services, and the CEO every day would look at a Sumo Logic dashboard to see how many people on certain flights were using their internet services. So it really can go all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom in
awesome,
terms of detail.
excellent. Thank you for that. So Raj, getting back to your again expanding the use cases across multiple teams. So how critical is it to have log analytics platform that does span the business, right? That makes those insights available across teams and use cases. Is it super critical? Is it critical? Is it not that important? Like, do you see your teams using it more and more and more?
Let me make it simple here. So data is there, the use of data is power. Like if you don't use the data, you will be lagging behind
Yeah,
in monitoring and everything. Like it's like how do you unleash your power? Like you can just say that, hey, it's not critical. But if you think that way, that means you're not leveraging the platform play. Here it is super critical. Basically we make intelligent decisions, and there are sometimes we have got the customer escalations like hey, why Sumo is not 24/7, etc. Like that much important on debugging the system. So it has gone to that level, like SLAs of Sumo, etc. We started looking at. Previously it was more of, hey, I query the data. Now I need the platform to be critical as part of our critical infrastructure. Let me put that way. It has become that much critical.
excellent, awesome. Love it. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Raj, I'm going to focus a little bit on Barry here for the next few minutes. We have some examples, some screenshot examples here of different ways log analytics is being used for more business-oriented visualizations, analytics, etc. So Barry, what do you want to start here? Do you want to start on SLIs or go somewhere else?
Sure. I think this is good because it really piggybacks on some things Raj was talking about. When a customer considers something mission critical, they should be measuring it, because you can't manage it if you're not measuring it. And the whole idea of an SLI, which is a service level indicator, is to take something that's important. And in the world of the SRE, the things that are important are the golden signals, things like latency, throughput, errors, and so forth. There's a number of them. You can see some of them on the screen. And Sumo gives the ability to set that service level indicator and then create an objective. What is the goal? How many minutes in the day do I want to have no errors or very low latency? How many minutes of the day? And then you can count them, and then you can decide how you're doing against them. This translates directly into the quality of the service that you provide. If you switch to the next slide, the rest of that screen is showing. This is an example that actually you can go to the next one. It'll be faster. There we go. So this is showing a target of 99%. In this case, latency, 1 minute windows throughout the day, 99% of those should have latency less than 2 seconds. So if it's more than 2 seconds, you're going to lose customers. Okay. So this is the goal. And you can see right here in this example, it's not a real customer. This is fictitious from a demo system, but it's showing you they're not making the target. You can see where the error budget, which is how many of those minutes I have left before I've not met my objective. And you can show the next slide as well. This is just showing you the trend over time. And in this particular example, you can see that actually the service level objective has not been met for that period. Cool. Great. And I think the rest of these are just other examples of dashboards. We changed the names to protect the innocent, of course. This is an example of a business KPI. This one is coffee preparation time. It's not real coffee. It is a real app, but it's not real coffee. But just as an example, a similar thing we've done with things for sporting events, things that have huge spikes, like a product launch or something like the Super Bowl. Yeah. These are things that Sumo Logic has monitored, and obviously getting out in front of that capacity need is super critical, or the event fails. Yeah. And you might want to click onto the next. Yeah, this is an example, a very fictitious example, but this is real. This is based on a real customer use case where they were able to track not only the bookings, but how many of them failed, and then dive in and see what the reasons were. Why did people abandon that cart?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Great. And Outlier, this is something special in Sumo Logic. I'm sure Raj is using it, but we have an operator called Outlier that allows us to identify something that deviates from a trend. So you were talking earlier about trends and things that you're tracking. So this would actually show you not only using a static threshold, but using dynamic thresholds when the behavior is exceeding normal bounds.
So, again, a lot of good examples of not just troubleshooting, right? Analytics here, but more, how is revenue affected based on spikes? What do trends look like? Are there outliers or anomalies that are affecting that trend, and why? And how is that affecting the business itself and the business health? So it's just, again, just broader uses beyond troubleshooting and issue resolution here. Any more that we want to talk about, or if we can move forward?
You can move forward.
All right. So Raj, back to you. Just to wrap this up, when you were looking for a log analytics provider, what were some of those key requirements that you were looking for in a partner?
I think I started simple. Like, first is we need to define what is that we are trying to accomplish. Like are we trying to build something for internal for the engineers, or do we want to use it even for the business user? So first we need to identify what that requirement. So I'm really clear that hey, I don't want this only limited to my technical engineers who's building the dashboard. I want this to be used as a platform play and across the teams, which like for example business, product management, support, engineering, like developers, everybody, they can query the data and make sense of the data whatever they are introducing new things. So how I can have a platform which can provide cost effective and provide me the capabilities to visualize quickly, and like the cost to train is also really matters for me. Like I don't want to spend a lot of time on the training aspect of the product. So it should be very simple and use ease of use. That is very key in having a platform play.
Excellent. Um, but again, thank you so much for your time, Raj and Barry. I really appreciate it. Great discussion, and have a great day.
Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate, and
Take
have
care.
a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.